We've got Beskar, we've got Baby Yoda, and we've got Bytes. This is PC Mag's One Cool Thing. I'm Matthew Buzzi. This is Tony Hoffman. And we have two drives from Seagate today that are Mandalorian-themed. Star Wars, still all the rage, Tony. Seems like it always will be. Seagate's gone out of their way to make two sort of Beskar ingots, which is the material in The Mandalorian. If you've seen the show, you're well familiar. One of them is made to look like a bar. The other is a more traditional drive. One is an internal SSD. One is an external SSD to use for all your file transfer needs. Tony, take it away. Show us what is interesting about these and what Star Wars sort of iconography is hidden on these things.
Well, this is the internal SSD. It's the Mandalorian Beskar ingot with the Imperial stamp. Is actually on the heatsink. It comes with a heatsink. The actual drive underneath is an M.2 drive. It's a PCI Express 4 drive, so it is made for gaming. It's actually modeled on the Seagate FireCuda 530 high-performance gaming drive. Mm-hmm. It has a sequential read and write speed ratings of 7,300 megabytes per second read and 6,000 megabytes per second write. However, in our testing, it performed about 1,000 megabytes per second less on the read than its rating. But
this is why we do the testing, Tony.
Yes.
So that sounds like an advanced drive. It's not all style. It's not just a some decoration slapped on the drive. This is a sort of advanced high-end drive, and the size, the thickness sort of the thing, which makes it look like an ingot, the heatsink, it has some function. It's not just so it looks like a bar of Beskar. It actually is a big fat heatsink, so that's why it's bigger and thicker than many sort of M.2 SSDs you may be used to.
That is true. However, it is also thin enough to fit into a PlayStation 5. And for
Love
that,
to see that.
The one disadvantage, though, is once you put it in the PS5, you can't admire its Star Wars-ness.
I was going to say, the elephant in the room with an internal SSD, you're not going to see it once you put it in. Might be able to in a PC case, depending on your build. If you have maybe an all Star Wars-themed case and you really want to make sure every single component in it is Star Wars-themed, and you might be able to see it through a side glass window or something like that. But in a PS5, that thing's gone.
Yes. So it's really for use in a rig with a see-through case or panel, or on a display shelf with your other Star Wars paraphernalia.
Yeah, you don't want to actually use the drive. That would be ridiculous. So overall, the price per byte is okay, not an amazing deal, but
it's a little bit above what you would pay for a non Star Wars SSD. Yes, I mean it's not hugely unreasonable, but certainly Star Wars fans, Mandalorian in particular, would be willing to pay a little bit more for the cool design.
It's the Beskar. You gotta have it. Now, one you will be able to see a little more is this big external SSD. This is for carrying with you, transferring your files, moving things between computers. If you're doing that frequently, you probably want to invest in one of these. Obviously, a bit bigger. Tell me about this one and sort of what are the symbols, and there's a couple things hidden on the bottom.
Sure. Well, first, it's a pretty standard hard drive. It tested the same as any number of 5,400 RPM platter-based hard drives that we've tested over the years. Its gaming use would be really to hold a game library. It's slow enough, as we verified in our testing. You certainly wouldn't want to be running games habitually, particularly AAA games, off of this. So it comes in at just 2 terabyte capacity. And as far as the design goes, actually it's pretty much the size and dimensions of the Beskar ingots as shown in the Mandalorian. And it has an Imperial stamp.
Verified by the Empire, of course.
Yes, and then it has some other symbol here that I'm not sure what it is.
I can't make that out. I'm sure someone would love to tell us exactly what that is.
Yes.
I have watched the show, so I just don't remember / recognize what exactly that is.
And here, the Mandalorian translation Well, it says Seagate, so I think
That one's hard to
I think
decipher.
that
I
is-
can't quite
that
make
is-
that out.
Yes, and speaking of
But you do joke about the translation on the back is not English.
Speaking of hard to decipher, we have two things here. This is the insignia of Clan Mudhorn, which is the clan that the Mandalorian and Grogu, a.k.a. Baby Yoda,
As he's popularly known. His real name, his government name, Grogu.
they founded the clan after they killed a Mudhorn. So this is of great significance to them. And this is the way. This is the way.
I knew. See, I read it fluently, so I knew that's what it says. Yes, the tagline, the famous tagline has kind of escaped the show itself and become a bit of a meme. This is the way. If you're just looking at it as a drive, how is the value on this one?
You'd probably be paying about what you would for a 4 terabyte for something like this.
That sounds right. Again, you have to really want the Star Wars of
Yes,
it all.
it does have RGB lighting.
Who doesn't want that?
And
Subdued, but it's there.
Seagate also has a couple of other Star Wars related similar drives.
You got to make it a whole product line, right?
Yes, there's
course.
one Boba Fett drive, but our favorite is the Grogu drive.
I mean, of course. If you couldn't tell, obviously.
Yes.
Big fans. So in addition to those, the two we have here, got to have a whole product line, got to make options for people who really want to invest in everything Star Wars and make all their drives thematic. So 2 here, 1 internal, 1 external. I'm partial to the internal SSD, even though you won't see it. I just think the heatsink making it look kind of shaped like an ingot is pretty neat. It has a nice heft to it as well. It feels not that you'll be touching it as much as the external one. It does kind of feel satisfying to hold. So maybe a bit of a premium for the Star Wars branding, not too surprising, but overall they're still good drives. They're quick, so you're not getting a bad product as a result. Just maybe overpaying slightly for the speed and the capacity on each. Thank you so much for watching. You can see the full reviews of each of these products on PCMag.com. So go there to read more details and find shopping links. Thank you so much for tuning in.